and swag. Hello, Good Friday, and welcome to a new episode of Heroes and Generals live Devstream number 60 this week. We are live from Copenhagen.
Yeah!
Here is, you didn't wait for your name.
I was just cheering for the 60.
Oh, it's, number 60 is good too. So
Come on, what's my name?
We are Reto, and he is Reto.
What is my name?
Red Bjarne.
Yeah, hi!
Say it louder. And my name is Gargamel. And today we are again, basically, it's the first episode after a brand new update. So we are taking some of the feedback from the community and seeing what we should be maybe adjusting later on. We already actually this morning deployed a bunch of hotfixes to, I will show you later actually what these hotfixes are about. And we are currently basically assessing how the players are reacting to the new
Collecting
features.
data.
Collecting data.
TM.
Yeah, that's actually something we might want to emphasize before we get into anything else. Is every time there's a new update, there's sometimes we try to adjust certain things in one direction, and we will be gathering data for a certain period of time. And for example, everything that was tweaked in terms of cone fire, in terms of, what else has been added? The new vehicles that have been added also, we're checking out to see like how they perform and if further adjustments are needed. So every time we change something, it's never necessarily cast in concrete or final.
Yeah.
Or so yeah, right.
But also it needs some time to actually settle.
Yeah.
Like the AA guns, the mobile AA guns, it's like everybody's, no, they're all over. And yeah, new stuff tends to attract a lot of players who want to try out the new stuff. So we always expect that in the first week or two, the balance between the number of AA guns in this instance will be a lot higher than normal, because everybody just wants to try them out. And
because everybody who can will go like, well, I can.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
So we expect it to sort of like go a little bit out again after a while. So that's why we cannot react on sort of like the initial first couple of
hours.
Games. Yeah.
So again, it takes some time for us to really draw a conclusion and say, okay, we need to adjust this.
Yeah, but also there's this thing when we sometimes we change or adjust sort of like the way stuff handles, and it just takes a while for players to adjust to how it works. And so give it some time every time we make some changes, because it's not something we do to annoy you, as some people might think.
I'm just going to tell Robotron. What the hell? Sorry. Where is he? I just saw that he's on. He's on the other messaging system.
We switched internal messaging system to some,
but not on this machine.
Wow. Oh yeah.
So, anyway. So this being said, we found this picture on. Actually, you found that.
Yeah, that's funny.
And
that's awesome.
It's quite hilarious. Right, it's hard to see what it's this.
It's a very sturdy submachine gun, that one.
Yeah, it's very sturdy. It's
and has multiple uses.
So when you absolutely positively need to sit down and there's no chairs. Yeah, and then what was the QA was saying? There's no animation for it yet, but we should. Yeah. All right. So I guess we should mention, as we did last week, that there is this new thread here called known issues and developer feedback.
We're gonna mention this every time
because basically all the answers are here.
Yeah.
Not all the answers, but many.
A lot of the answers here, and it's dynamic. So we update it every time we fix something, and or something has a new status, then we should update this.
So these are really actually it's funny because we have an FAQ on the landing page, but this is this is the real FAQ.
Yeah, but this is also based on feedback from the forums and from the games. So it's. If it's the same question gets asked a lot of times, it makes sense for us to put it in here and try to answer it. Also, when is this gonna get fixed, or when are you gonna add this and this to the game? We try to put as much of that stuff in this thread as possible. So the forum can be more about how do you play the game, or what could this be a great idea for something instead of just complaining about something that's already in this list.
And speaking of announcements, we were trying to get some headsets so we could go on TeamSpeak and say hi to the various faction TeamSpeak channels that some of our players are running. Unfortunately, we didn't get the gear because we can't use these things and go on TeamSpeak. We need another set of actually headsets, and then we would need, I think, like more gear to really basically because there's the delay and everything.
Yeah,
we have to set it up so that we can talk on TeamSpeak and talk here at the same time. We haven't managed to do it yet, but we want to do that later on. Eventually, go and say hello to everybody on TeamSpeak.
Yeah, do you have? Is there anywhere where players can see where the TeamSpeak channels are, the address for them and stuff?
I don't have this here, but I guess we could find it on the forums. I'm gonna go and try and find it and tell you later if I find it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I think it's actually we should mention that we want to make this episode a questions and answers session about the reset update.
About anything.
About anything actually. But if you have questions about stuff that has been added recently, that's our favorite questions.
It's okay. Just. Interesting questions, please.
And while we're waiting, I guess, for questions to come up, we could maybe show the little tweaks that have been added this morning.
A little update on the first couple of minor issues that we thought that made sense to adjust.
I'm gonna make myself something else than German this time. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna get like. A rifleman from the Red Army. So if I appear here, I got the wrong gun. Give myself the let's say the Dictator machine gun, which is I keep forgetting which number it is.
The Russian record player.
Yeah, the record, the turntable. There it is. Okay, it's number 9. Number 9. And if I find a place where I can do some target practice.
We have some slide tech issues. Sorry.
Are we?
I think we have some tech issues.
Yeah.
It seems.
Do we still have like sound and? Okay, good. Awesome. Let's say I'm using this wall. I think that's not the best example I can come up with. So if you, this is by the way this version is.
Wait a second. It seems like the.
We lost the picture.
The picture is gone. So your demonstration will be very secret.
It's very hard to follow.
Yeah.
Are we
I can see people are asking questions. Keep it. Go easy on the questions because we're just gonna show some stuff.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to find a because I started moving around again. Is this good? Yeah, I guess we can use this. Okay, let's use this wall. So if you hip fire a machine gun and in full auto fire, so that there's actually I'm gonna remove the. I'm going to use a debug function to disable the recoil. So this is without recoil. We're just looking at how the basically the bullets are spread out inside the cone of fire. So if I fire at this spot, I'm going to try and do it in an orderly fashion. So if I do this, so you see how the crosshairs are opening while I'm in auto fire. So I end up peppering that area. So now I'm going to sidestep and try to keep the same distance. Now if I'm going to reload also. Yeah. If I crouch.
Yeah,
so if I crouch, the crosshairs are smaller, and now it will have an effect because that's one thing that we had apparently not put in the original update. Yeah. But so now you see that the spread of bullets is a little bit smaller because I'm crouching. Yeah. And if I go prone, so inside the same well, actually, it's not the same. Inside a smaller cone,
Yeah, it gets smaller.
your bullets will. So you see that the spread is even less. So there is a bonus in terms of not stability, but
the cone fire or
accuracy, basically.
Yeah,
like you
it
have
just
less.
gets less.
And of course, I'm going to turn the recoil back on, so because this is not what you will get if you just hold down the trigger. If you hold down the trigger, I'm going to crouch to give it some control. But if I just let it rip, this is what happens. So this is the recoil. So you see, you have the spread and the recoil together. So, but even though it goes up, I mean, you got like within a certain kind of margin, your bullets will not spread more than that. If I'm going to do it again here. If I just hip fire and don't even try to control the recoil. Here is standing. So basically, if I'm standing, you can see like how like it's a nice big zigzag here compared to this one is a little bit more controlled. But I mean, it's not a huge difference when you're really just not. You just
It makes sense that the machine gun you need to basically lie down in order to get the desired precision.
So and this applies to basically anything that has automatic fire. And I guess I could try another one just to show that it's pretty much the same for. Let's try the. Which number is it? 62. Yeah, that's the Browning.
I think the Twitch, the crosshairs are very hard to see on the.
So it's a shame because I mean we can't really highlight them.
No.
But
maybe we should make a special Twitch Twitch version of the game. Big fat lines everywhere.
I guess it's probably a debug that we could request from the powers that be. So there was that. And wait, I need to look at the changelog again. Let me find the. That. I'll just go here. News. There it is. Adam's changelog.
Is the hotfix on?
Yeah.
Yes, it should.
Yeah, it's from this morning. The hotfix is from this morning. So what else is in the? I guess I'm gonna just put it here. So there was some performance also related issue. So we improved the performance on the strategy game.
Yeah.
And we also
the German A gun.
The German flak.
Yeah, German flak gun, and I think people started complaining instantly when we released the Adams update that they got owned too much by the German AA guns, and I can actually understand why they were complaining, because we made a small change to a bug that was before the update went out. And we had a bug that where because the flag used to fire in pairs, so the like two barrels fire at the same time, and there was something that made that sort of like just totally spin up in control. So just like it fired very rapidly. So the only way for us to fix it was to go to sequential firing mode. So you shoot one shot at a time.
So like this instead.
Yeah, but we didn't adjust the firing rate, which meant that effectively the gun would sort of like fire twice as fast. I think the damage per second is the same, but when you're leading a target, it's more effective to have a spread of bullets rather than two bullets at the same time. So in effect, it just got a lot more.
Is that so?
Yeah. So that was kind of like the effect, and now we turned down the firing rate on the flak, just in order to sort of like compensate for the more steady stream of bullets. But it might not be enough, I don't know. But we took it down did we take it down 50% or something?
So if I compare it with the, if I can remember what is that the one? No, that's the. Let me try and put it next to it
We
here.
lost the image. I'm sorry.
Oh, again? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh shit! Sorry, the image has gone again. I think we have some technical problems today.
So does this one? Oh, sorry, no, this one. Does this one also behave
Same.
the same? Okay,
Yeah.
so instead of being, oh yeah. Okay, so basically it behaves pretty much in a similar fashion to the quad US. So it's a different kind of projectile, right?
The German one
flak
is
is a
20
high
millimeters.
explosive.
Just the cannon is much bigger.
Is it a high explosive? This one?
I think this one is. We put the armor piercing in.
Okay. Because it has the. I know why I'm saying that.
We keep losing the signal.
Oh,
so
we do. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
that's okay. Yeah. So obviously it was correct that the German flag was a bit OP. So we turned it down. But it might still be too much. We are gonna test it out and see if it's still too powerful.
So otherwise there was what's the other thing? Yeah, automatic weapons are more stable when crouched and prone, and there was a tank reload sound bug.
Probably. Yes. Usually when we make hot fixes, like all sorts of small bugs just gets fixed, and all the stuff that didn't quite make it to the release just gets on in as well.
But so you have not done any other
Nope.
like immediate tweaks to
No.
okay.
We discussed a little bit if we should take a look at the. Some people complain a little bit about that the edges of the forest are very dense now, but that's a bit of a little bit bigger adjustment, and so I would prefer not putting that in as a hot fix. At some point I might go in before the next update to if it gets too problematic to just remove a few of the bushes so it's not that dense. But I actually wanted to have the effect of the woods or the forest to actually be a place where you go in and you are very much hidden from anything in there. Obviously that exposes a lot of the some of the forests are very close to some of the capture points, and that could lead to some people, you can say, camping outside the capture points. And I'm gonna slowly thin that stuff out a bit again. But on the other hand, it's also something where you kind of like learn where people were hiding, and you just take your measures, take your precautions before going in a certain place.
So I guess do we have any questions coming in that we can start taking?
Should we go for the questions tsunami of questions? Yeah, just bring it on, guys.
Okay, so there's.
Let's see if
I thought we already had some that were.
there was probably some, but that was while you were. Let's see.
Frolicking. Trying to.
It's another zombie is asking, how do we manage to put up with our vocal community? Most HNG people are very close to the. Huh?
To the edge.
To the. Woo!
To the what?
You are doing a good job at keeping this at bay. I wonder how you do it and keep a good spirit. Well, it's okay. It's. I actually look at it as it's. People who are playing the game, they're usually very passionate about what they do, and obviously, if stuff gets changed in a direction they don't like, they get very emotional about it. But if you look at it as I tend to look at it as a positive thing, because if they weren't complaining about stuff that we did, we would have a serious problem then, because that would mean that nobody would care about the game at all. So it's I actually try to just look at it as people who are passionate about the game, and
it's the same as like when your girlfriend complains. It's because she loves you. Your girlfriend stops complaining.
She wants to change you. So I think that really isn't a problem, and some people are better at writing a sentence that you can understand than others, and some people use a lot of swear words and shit like that. But that doesn't matter. It's fine as long as we can understand what the point is. Obviously, it would be nice if people were a little less toxic on the forums, because it can get, for some in here at least, some of my colleagues in here that never read stuff on the forums because they
shocked sometimes.
No, they simply just get depressed of reading like all that flaming stuff, and so. And you could say that people writing stuff like that, they don't get their point across because...
That's the thing, like if you can make a point without flaming, you're even better off.
Oh yeah.
Because then like you can convince people who disagree with you. Mm-hmm. That's like if you flame, you're only preaching to people who already agree with you. So that's the way to look at it, I think. But anyway.
There's a question here from ADKN is asking, are you planning full city maps? All current maps are just trees and stones. That is also one of the regular questions.
Yeah.
We are thinking about adding some city maps. They're a little bit different to create than the open terrain ones we have. And obviously, like a tight city map will put some constraints on what kind of vehicles and stuff you could bring. For instance, it probably wouldn't matter much to have a fighting plane. A fighter aircraft in a city map that does make sense, and maybe not even adding a tanks would probably be not so fun because they would be easy to kill. So it would be more like you say like sort of like infantry only maps for the city maps, but it's definitely something that we are looking into how to make as what you say,
a system or
the system for making it. We did discuss at some point that the major cities on the campaign map should be made out of, you could say, like a cluster of city maps. You could say, like if you imagine a grid of 10 by 10 maps that are all linked together, and you would have to sort of like conquer them all in order to take the city.
I think last time it was 2 by 2. We made it 10 by 10. That's a long city.
We haven't gotten any further on that one, but that's kind of like the thought about how to introduce the city maps is to make them into like huge clusters of maps. So a lot of fighting would have to go on before you can capture a major city. Let's see if we have another question here. As Drugs for Hogs, he said, can you nerf the Panther? It's a bit OP, as you can see in the chat.
Panther?
Panther. I will nerf the Panther.
What?
Don't worry. People are obsessed with the Panther.
But what can we say about the Panther?
If we're going to add it, we're obviously going to add the D variant and the really early one that has all the flaws and all the bugs and all the breakdowns and shit to make it more realistic. Sarcasm.
Yeah, but
the Panther is actually a very interesting tank.
Yeah, because it wasn't better than a Tiger. It was for something else, right?
It was using the same engine as the late Tiger one, and obviously it was lighter. It had actually pretty weak side armor, but sloped and pretty thick front armor. So it was deadly from the front, but if you could flank it, it wasn't really that good. There's a lot of things in it that it fired a smaller caliber gun than the Tiger, 75 millimeter. But the thing is, it was the improved Pak 40, like a long-barreled version of the 75 millimeters, which means it had a very high velocity on the shell, which means it had great penetration power. But the shell being smaller, it carried less explosive, so it was like it was good at poking holes and stuff, but not as good at exploding.
So this one here,
that's a Panzer IV.
But this gun is the what? This is the.
It's a shorter version.
This is the shorter version, but okay, but it's a similar one to the one.
It's usually you don't just use the caliber of the gun to say how good it is. You also need to look at the length of of the barrel, and the obviously how long the actual cartridge of the what do you call
the shell, basically.
The shell is
or the
actually,
shots.
yeah. Longer casing means that you can pack more powder in, which gives it obviously a higher velocity.
Yeah,
higher velocity means that it actually
yeah.
have a greater penetration power. So it actually the Panther is
you see it here, no? Right, that's the King Tiger versus
you see the King Tiger had a crazy long barrel, and it's also an 88 millimeter. So the King Tiger's cannon is just insane
because it's the velocity plus the caliber that makes it just punch through everything.
So you can say like the Tiger 1 and 2 uses the same shell, like the projectile, but the casing is different, which makes it a different gun. I think one of the things that was the problems with these high velocity guns for use on the battlefield is that they were not very effective when at troop support. Actually, if you had to fire high explosives, because they fired in a very straight line because of the velocity, so it was hard to sort of like adjust the where you would hit it. Like if you fire the shot in an arc, it's easier to actually hit something on the ground
that you don't see.
Yeah, and when you have a straight line, it just, especially at distance, your aim actually becomes very unprecise or imprecise. So that was kind of apparently one of the problems, was that it was better at just shooting directly at tanks and not at the infantry. So let's get some. Why did I start talking about the Panther? You got me into this, you. There's Tango Echo 88. The recent update focused a lot of anti-aircraft. How far in the future will it be before we can see the same love for airplanes? There are same need of rebalancing. For example, pilots P-38 getting one shot by AT ammo from other planes. Yes, that is also one of our most asked questions, is that when are we going to see some more aircraft in the game? The current status on the aircraft is that we have been focusing on, you could say, like a lot of other things in the game, and the aircraft, the actual flight model needs to be, I wouldn't say tweaked. It actually needs to be sort of mostly rewritten from a code perspective. The current version we have now is actually very complicated. It has a lot of parameters, and they're all sort of like interconnected. So if you change this parameter, it affects all these other things, and it's very hard to balance that. It's a physics-based model where the wings all have drag and all that stuff. So it's and if you were able to see the actual physics model that we use for producing the aerodynamics, you'll see it's a completely different shape than the actual plane, which makes it even weirder to adjust. So I think our current plan is to actually just take all the different parameters and just bake them into a very simple system where you can just tweak stuff independently of one of the other things, so we can. So we very precisely can actually just create the plane we want.
But you were telling me something about the.
And when we need to have some estimates from the programmers on how long time that would take to actually redo. When that is in place, then we will go all in on more aircraft. We would obviously also like the aircraft to fly a lot faster. Right now I think they're flying half speed at their natural speed, or their historical speed, and we would like to get them to fly. The skilled pilots it's really easy for them to precision bomb stuff, and even I've seen a certain old man having a scrape counter on his screen when he plays the game, how many people he can actually hit with the plane. But obviously now you have got a bit of competition with the AA guns.
Oh yeah, it was like who.
But that's one of the things. The air combat is a bit slow. So yes, it's something that we're definitely planning on.
But the whole point of making it slow, wasn't it, to give everybody a chance to not crash? Because I mean, exactly. I find it's very easy to crash when you try to dive bomb. I mean, it's
but that stuff that we would probably add when we make the update to planes, I think we would talk to some of the guys that are doing the models. That we would probably add sort of like a starter plane, which would be like a biplane or something that's really almost like World War I style, that will fly this slow, and then we'll add the faster planes.
That's gonna look funny. With the biplanes?
No, I think they're cool. They're nice.
I don't know, but they yeah, that's true. But I've never seen them in a World War II movie.
Have you played War Thunder?
No.
They're all over.
They're all over the place.
That's actually super annoying that you start out with a bunch of really poor planes. So yeah, but so we're aiming to at having like slow, weak planes as well, and I don't know if the current ones are going to be the top tier ones, or are we going to put some planes that are even better than those, or are we going to put something in between? That hasn't been decided yet, but that's something for you to discuss on the forums, what kind of planes we should add to fit into this. I think we are also interested in adding a two-seater or multiple-seat aircraft, and somehow, because it's just cool to be able to join in on the, for example, the Stuka has a machine gun on the second seat that points backwards. In the really early days when we were just mocking up the game before we even got investors and stuff into this project, we had a Stuka, and it was pretty fun that you can actually switch seats. But I think it's interesting to start adding these, especially the multi-seat aircraft.
I'm actually curious because I never associated biplanes with World War II. They still had them.
A lot of I think
they had like outdated.
I think it was mostly for recon and transporting a general from point A to point B, and they weren't really used as. I think the Soviet Union had a few of them in the start of the war, and then they just, especially when the Germans attacked, they just really got their ass kicked until they introduced the more modern ones.
Just had a wait.
Let's see if there's other questions here.
There, found it. Like this one was used for recon, right?
Yeah, something like this.
So
I think
like
cool.
that, but that's still not. It's not a biplane. It's a mono.
Yeah.
This is the.
But it's. I think it would be planes like this that we would probably introduce as tier 1 starter planes.
It's the recon plane that the American jazz composer Glenn Miller was flying.
Okay.
That's when he crashed and over the channel. That. You don't know Glenn Miller?
Nope.
You know that his music you sure know.
Probably.
In the Mood.
Nope.
I'm not gonna sing it.
Nope.
But
come on. Sing it.
It doesn't have lyrics really, but it goes. Oh, anyway,
super annoying music.
Yeah, but I mean it's annoying. It's annoying to the Germans.
Oh yeah.
But
there's the. I'm gonna go for some more questions here. We're drifting. Let's see.
We're drifting like to the max.
Challenger 303 is asking, will there be any uniform customization soon? Soon, yeah. I know there's more camo and stuff coming up at some point. I also know that I've seen somebody in here working on some stuff that can be changed. So yes, that is definitely in the works. Did you nerf your beer?
That's right here. It's still here. This is
I'm gonna switch to beer, in a second. Don't worry. And then there's MJR Xavier is asking, why not add the? Nothing more. Oh, actually, while I remember it, I think last week I was following at least a Russian-speaking Twitcher. I need to make a shout out to him. He was,
what's his name?
His name is, let's see if I can find it, wrote it down here, Marathon Slayer HD. You should check him out on the YouTube, on Twitch. The thing is that I went into his Twitch stream, and he just wouldn't believe that I was with the devs. So apparently, I don't understand Russian, but the guys in the chat told me that he kept saying, slacking me off in in Russian. Obviously, I don't know in Russian, so I was like, oh, what the fuck? Huh? I couldn't do anything about it. But it was me, not some troll. I think he has actually had some problems with some trolling in his...
Director confirmed.
Yeah. Ice Slayer X is asking, any ideas on when medics will be implemented? I have no idea when medics.
Medics.
We did actually talk about this. Actually, if you instead of making a whole new like medic class, if we should just add sort of like a medic pack or something, you could just like go
or a medic bot.
Yeah. No. Just so you have like one shot at getting your full health back or something like that.
Or can you give it to somebody else?
Maybe give it to somebody else. We only talked about it. We need to check out how easy it is to implement. If it was.
How about morphine?
Yeah.
So that you don't die, but you die later. It's like you kind of suspend your damage.
No. In computer games, you always get your health back when eating bread or something. You just go, hey, I'm now fresh again. Give me bread. It will heal me. Cubic Ice Warrior. This Ice Warrior. A Cubicle Warrior. Oh.
Cubicle Warrior.
I am Cubic Ice Warrior. What the fuck is that name?
Perhaps.
When will objects, trees, haystacks, cabbage get physics model instead of behaving like concrete tank obstacles? I actually did make some tests with the running over trees, and then we can actually sort of do it, but I think that the actual physics model needs a bit of tweaking before we can just start to implement it, because it can easily just kill the server if everybody starts to mow down trees. Everybody's like, the physics are actually synced on the server. So, but
because the exploding cabbages that was also a problem, right?
I'm looking into it, so I also get super annoyed that a tank cannot run over a thin, small tree.
But I mean, I've noticed that when you do drive around now in the undergrowth, the small trees have no collision now.
Yeah, I removed it just because it was
it was too annoying.
It was super annoying. Okay, it's only the medium-sized trees.
But what I mean is that okay. So this is something that was like I thought it was before you can make them completely like just bend or whatever. Or
we can actually set them up so they break.
So that they break. Okay.
Yeah. So they just fall over, but. Physics are a bit. It's not as easy as you think. You can cause a lot of troubles with the physics object.
So like this one, for example, if I'm driving around in it. So if I hit this, I'm fine. This one, I'm fine. What's medium? Let's find out. So this is big. What's a medium-sized tree?
Let's try this one.
No, this doesn't work.
Did I switch? I can't remember actually if I actually switched off the collision on those.
Because so far so good.
Yeah, these.
What about these?
This one. These are the ones I've made tests on, so I can actually break them.
But okay, they also right now. So this is a medium-sized tree. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's go for the next question.
Yes.
Colecro is asking, when you plan to make, if a player ejects one magazine while it has some remaining bullets, those remaining bullets are either discarded and wasted. When is that would be never.
Why not?
That would just be super annoying. That you have to finish up the magazine before we're not gonna go that much realism on the game.
It's true that.
Yeah. So unfortunately,
it's kind of hard to explain. Also that basically like.
No, but I can actually see from his point. It is something that adds a bit of tactic to the game. That you you have the choice of, okay, if I'm going to go into this building, I will go in with a full magazine because that increases my chance of actually surviving, but it comes at the expense of just throwing away ammunition. So then there's the MGR Xavier again is asking, why not add the Marmon Harrington CTLS light tank as the new starter tank for the US? I guess M2A2 could be moved up. Can you try and Google that one?
Yep. Say that again. Harrington?
The Marmon Harrington.
Harrington, like the guy who plays Jon Snow?
I have no idea what he's called. I don't know who I just know him as Jon Snow.
Really?
I think he's real. Isn't that real?
Is the guy real? Is Jon Snow real? It's Harrington.
Yeah,
as
this
a
one.
herring.
Yeah.
You will cut down the mightiest tree in the forest. With
This one. That's a funny.
Harrington.
funny one.
Right.
I have never heard of this tank before.
Let's
So
get a nice big. I don't know, like this one would give us a good idea, or maybe like wait.
can you
a
throw
color
it into the
picture?
screen so people can see it?
This is better now. Right there you go.
What?
I wanted to see the picture.
It looks funny though.
But isn't it the same?
It looks like it has a
suspension?
cannon and not just the machine guns. So like the same principle in the suspension.
Yeah. What kind of gun is that?
I have never seen this tank
Yeah,
before.
right. It's,
Oh wow, that's just a crazy many questions. Saimundo is asking, have you ever thought about changing the assault team so that each vehicle gets its own type? Yes, but I think that would probably be a nightmare for the matchmaker to find proper battles and stuff like that. So we'd have to change the entire way of using resources. But we could do that. We have actually been discussing different ways to sort of like make sure that you can use more than just your best tank. For example, just having something that encourages you to have all the tanks and use them accordingly. If you don't meet any Panzer IVs, then you just spawn your Panzer III instead, so you don't waste your expensive tanks.
Isn't that why also there's a new mod, there's a new upgrade for the semi-auto rifles? You were telling me about yesterday the idea that it would be cool if you could use your semi-auto rifle and become a specialist in that, instead of seeing it as the first rifle that you want.
That's also up to
right?
Going back to the utilizing all the different. But this is a bit different. This is just it was. The thought was that you actually have all your different light tanks and you use them in.
Depending on what you
depending
need.
on the situation. Yeah. If there's only infantry on a level, you might just spawn with your Panzer I because you just need the machine guns and not a cannon. And if heavier tanks start to appear, you sort of like upgrade and start using some of the other tanks. Okay, Hunter Amanu. Hey. When might you make more skins for the SVT-40?
Doesn't it have has a few? Doesn't it?
Yeah. Actually, we have already made one new one.
Wait, the Christmas one?
No. There's a new skin, but it's not released yet.
I know.
There is a new one. Okay. But it's gonna be it's a special thing. It's for one of the features for we're working on for the B update. So I can't say any more than that. Brought the farmer saying, "You're doing great. Now please bring the British." Aye, sir. Mr. Xavier saying, I think the next map needs 0 houses, 0 trees, 0 plants, just rocks. And they're gonna be.
Is that like Iceland?
I don't know. Maybe he's referring to a mine or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Give it a try. Way too bad. _NL is asking, did Gargamel train on knowing the maps and game, or does he still have no clue where it's going? That's a question for you.
You try thinking of something smart to say while you drive. I do play the game. Actually, I try to also play it undercover so that I can actually play it without answering questions. I think everybody here does that.
Yeah.
But I kind of know the maps, but now it's like you changed everything. You changed everything on the French town.
The problem is when you play it as a player, stuff on the maps is called something different than we internally. We have words for everything that we don't use externally. So sometimes when we refer to stuff on the maps, it gets kind of confusing.
I can't think of an example though.
The town map, for example. It's called the town map, but internally we call it the medium French village.
Oh,
so there's all sorts
of
stuff that just refers to what the file is called on the disk and not the object in the game. So
I've heard players kind of who memorized every spawn location for certain points. And they're like, "Oh, a primary emergency spawn, quick!" And like, which one is that? It's just
yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, I need to.
And then death-like silence.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check out some of the questions. See if I can
Robotron
find them.
sent me this picture. I'm not even sure what this is supposed to be, except a very large transport plane with funny landing gear. Yeah.
Here's one cubicle warrior again. He's asking me to adjust the prices for captured stuff, explosives, sticky mines, and everything should be much more expensive to resupply. I guess he's annoyed with getting grenades from his own side or something. I think they're expensive enough as they are.
Because I mean,
the Tumult Inc. is asking, did you consider the coastal map posted in the forum? I actually looked at there's some players who I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in There's a very nice coastal map suggestion. I think and we I think Deshi also took a look at it, and there's definitely some inspiration to get from that map.
so this thing.
I think coastal maps are a bit problematic from our current engine. Actually, we need to make a few corrections though, because right now the background of the map is actually just a map being tiled and flipped around. So it would be like a really big lake instead. But that I'm sure that can be fixed. But it's nice. It's a nice suggestion for a map.
So the idea is, can we see this in bigger? That's bigger. I'll try this like this. Aha! So instead of
It's basically a rework of the town map, but with a lot more coastal line. But you have to go in and read the whole thread. It's nice. There's a long discussion about stuff, and I think it's great work.
Yeah, that's very detailed also.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Infectosh is saying, I understand that it's supposed to help new players and make semi-auto rifles more common at Battlefield. Okay, but there's always a but. If the starting rifle is so damn good, why on earth would we grind pay to get other rifles? Again, it's not meant to be the best rifle. It's just going to be different. But I think we had sort of like painted ourselves a little bit into a corner where it was everything else was just better than a semi-auto rifle, and we just needed to be. If you took it to the So to the end, it had its purpose as well. I'm pretty sure you can find plenty of players on the forums that would swear that they would rather use a different rifle or weapon than the semi-auto, even though we sort of buffed it a bit. So it's all down to personal play style and preferences, and your taste of what kind of weapon do you prefer. So I don't think it hasn't turned into the king of all right now.
But it's an all-round.
It's a good
weapon,
all-round weapon.
thing,
Yeah.
right? It's,
there's also a Hertian 1987. Any estimated time on arrival on the new medium tanks? How does he know about new medium tanks?
well,
Yeah.
does the Panther counts as a medium, right? Or heavy?
Which one?
Forgot the name. Panther.
The Panther. That's a medium. But actually, it's a heavy medium.
It's a heavy medium, right?
Yeah. I think it's all this categorization about medium heavy and like that. It is a bit blurry what tank falls
Because
into what
anyway,
categories.
like modern tanks no longer really kind of.
They're
follow
not really
that,
heavy.
right?
They're so they would be like heavy mediums, I guess.
Don't they call them main battle tanks? The
They definitely just
Yeah,
go.
right.
They just went into this.
Right.
Is just the main battle tank, and there's
right.
and then they have the infantry fighting vehicles, which is a smaller version with a smaller gun. And there's modern tanks are just a whole different thing. Again, when will the British? Will we get AA tanks? Yes, at some point. I think that's Bimo is asking when we get AA tanks. I think they're cool, the Beffelwind and all that. Those tracked, they're great, but I think we should add some more planes. More AA
Yeah,
guns.
because otherwise it's gonna have something to shoot at.
Yeah. Can you please not post the same questions a lot of times, because it takes forever to scroll through them. No, but some people actually just post the same questions. Me. That's just like a bit annoying.
We're into 5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes already.
Already. Medium armor. It seems like them. Well, I'm just going to scroll to the bottom of the chat and then go back up instead of going down. Yeah. Estimated time. That's a squirrel on acid. Estimated time on bipods. Just had a little
Yep.
talk about this.
Let's go back to it there. Where's the...
No, but actually we have a good portion of some bipod stuff running, but because the system is very open system, it introduced sort of like it's one of those things where we say, oh, we can easily do this and this, and then suddenly, whoa, there was like a lot of more issues with the bipods that we first anticipated. So we actually just put it on hold because the guy that's supposed to do it have more important stuff to do right now. But when we get when we will put it back on track again, but we just need to sort of like do a little bit more research into how many problems can this actually cause. So
Because it was starting to look like something.
but then
it's not finished. You can-
Splixen and his crew got their fingers on it and starting to there's suddenly a lot of problems with the service.
That's his job.
That
Splixen
is
is
his
basically,
job.
how can I
It's
break
just-
it?
His job is to be super annoying. How can it's his job to always say your shit is just shit. Fix your shit. Cheers, Splixen. I have a beer now.
Just Splixen.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Splixen, our game would look terrible. It would have like a lot more bugs than it has. So,
One of the things was also...
and the rest of the testers, obviously, because they're also super annoying by always pointing out that we make mistakes all the time.
It's like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Marv 2.0 says, shall we send you a razor?
a razor, like a mouse?
A mouse? Please, yes. Wolfbane. Whoa, Wolfbane. We haven't seen him on the Switch for a long time. Allow Recon to get good scope for the SA rifles. Interesting. The Recons actually have access to more reticles for the semi-auto rifles, but it's interesting to see. I'll go back and discuss this stuff, and if we should add the high power scope to the semi-auto rifles.
But doesn't it at some point kind of only make a minor difference because they're not accurate?
They don't shoot as far as
right,
the bolt action rifles,
right.
but yeah, and it's. I think it's a weird discussion with these scopes because it's better scopes doesn't mean that you can. They're not like higher magnification is not necessarily
make you better.
No, but not necessarily better because the rifle obviously has to be able to shoot at the distance, but also it also pushes you into. You have to engage the other players at very long ranges suddenly, and the weapon is it quickly becomes useless on closer distances. So it's kind of like it's again what you prefer. I think there's a reason why the Soviets didn't actually use high powered scopes at all. They thought that the 3.5 times magnification, the ones they had, that was good enough for the distance to usually engage infantry. So the super high powered scopes that's more like a modern warfare type thing where you actually have the Barrett long range guns and you're able to shoot people at
6 kilometers away.
Yeah, something like that. I think in World War II it was more like they were just went, oh, that's fine. It's we don't need more than that. And I think that's also one of the reasons that we don't. We have the high-powered scopes, but I don't think it's not that necessary. You definitely need some medium or close range, at least some medium style weapon as well if you have the high-powered scope. So but it's an interesting thing to see if we could at least try it out and see if it makes for a fun. Combination, so let the Recons have.
We should wrap up.
Yeah.
We should wrap up.
We should wrap up. We should
wrap. So
let me take one last.
Terrible.
Let me take one last.
One last
question.
one.
One last one.
Insist.
TPDK is asking: could we be able to buy enemy weapons if we make ribbon rank 12? Captured weapons. It's in the pipeline of some of our features. I would personally like to put them in a different place than just being able to instantly purchase them. We are working on a design for you could say like crates where you
kind of like the Christmas ones that we had, right?
Yeah, but also the crates that appear on the maps,
yeah.
Either by like a freight train or getting dropped with the parachute. These canisters. And you would need some sort of like a key to open it. If you get the crate, you get a key to open it, and inside the crate would be some sort of like a random item. That could be a captured weapon. That could be one of the ways to get hold of captured weapons. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Because that would be very rare, and we'd have a good way to control that it's not.
And then
totally spreading out.
The paradrops were like a frequent. Like they were frequently fucked up, and basically the enemy would get the shipment that
exactly.
was.
That's actually why I think that that's one of the ways that we should introduce captured weapons to the game through these crates. I also saw a documentary at some point about there was the follow-up to the Sturmgewehr, the next version of the Sturmgewehr.
The AK-47.
No. The what's it called? Gewehr 45 or something like that. And the Americans found like huge amounts of them packed on a train just after the war. So they were actually produced and they weren't assembled yet, but they were being shipped somewhere.
Huh.
And it would be a cool thing to use that sort of like fantasy to introduce weapons that were not sort of like battle active in the game. So we could just say this experimental stuff, and we only introduce it through this random appearances on the map. So they're rare and they are very